is going on, everyone's. We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I am yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stocker.
And the topic for today is going to, it's a live edition of Is My Point Valid? You know what I'm saying? I forgot to say that. We on live. We with y'all, you know what I'm saying? In person. But topic for today is gonna be
We've met a direct descendant of the devil.
Say, she ain't say it right.
I did not.
She was supposed to say it like this. We done met a direct descendant of the devil. And I don't know if y'all heard about Miss Sade, what her name is? Sade Perkins. That's her name. The woman who made those asinine comments about the camp mystic, you know, the flood Kerrville. It's a white only, whatever. We're gonna check out what she has to say. We got a couple of videos. We even have another woman who is agreeing with her. Sounds just as crazy as she does. But we're going to get into that. We're gonna commentate on that. And y'all know how we do. Y'all stick around, man. This should be good. First video. Let's hear what she said originally.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe.
Peep that she just said that now. She said it's not that we don't want the little girls to be found. We're just trying to bring attention to the fact that this is an all-white Christian girls academy. So I think that's very interesting because that's going to come back and bite her a little later on in the video. So you make sure you stick around, man.
Especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were,
it should be. She said it should have been Hispanic
girls. She keeps getting,
and let the satanic ritual
she just keeps digging a hole,
and she stands on it.
It's a white camp, but because of the area, it should be brown girl.
Yeah, it should be.
Should be.
Hold on. I think that's what she said. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. We're gonna find out if that's what she said.
Climate. If this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a f***. And all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been.
Name one disaster like this that wasn't publicized.
Every disaster and every year in Texas, and mind you, while she's doing all this talking, there are floods happening, and I think in 12 other states. Like there's one happening like really bad, and children are being washed away in those as well. But a disaster happens in Texas every year. Last year was Hurricane Beryl, and there were Beryl, whatever it was. You know, a lot of us had lost the electricity. Power was out,
all that.
People were dying, no food, all of those things. So every year there is some type of disaster. Every month there's some type of disaster, and things are done. No matter your ethnicity, race, whatever you are, people are trying to.
And you sure shouldn't be out here talking about it should have been based on the geographic location.
Like East Texas is Hispanic. What? That's not true, but that lets you know that she's not
in a box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're gonna let the foolishness continue.
here in the first place, and yada yada yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East damn Texas and to make a all-white enclave, exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people.
So another thing, all along where Camp Mystic is, there are lots of camps. There are several camps. So I don't know what other people are attending those camps, but there are camps all along. Like there's different camps.
And maybe I should have done the research on Camp Mystic, but
Now, through the years, there have been black people who have attended. I think it just so happens. Let's be for real, right? Let's be serious. Are black people sending their children to camp? I'm not talking about the YMCA. I'm not talking. Are black people sending their children to camp?
These type of camps.
See, because when
you got to put up some
you
for real money.
Right, when you have to like really pay for it, and then on top of that, it's probably tradition. Either their parents went to this camp, and then so every year, well, we're going to send our children. So that's a thing. That's not really a traditional thing within. Unless I don't know.
I've been to one camp in my life, and you know how I got there. You know how I found out about it. White people. I never knew about going to camps. I mean, I see it on TV.
I remember my brothers going to camp.
And I tell you, it was the coolest thing I ever experienced.
I didn't
in my
experience
life.
it.
Well, not in my life, but it was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, and that ain't traditional. So
I'm not trying to like put a stigma right on black people. It'll be like they're not going to camp. I think they are going to camp, but it just so happens that
why does it
doesn't
matter?
Right, that's what I'm trying to like. It doesn't matter who was at the camp. It matters that children died and grown people died. I think it was like over 170 people so far.
Yeah.
So let her cook.
People in East Texas, somehow, some way, you have carved out an all whites only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living.
Remember she said that now. Remember she said verbatim, this is not about the children not being found. I want the children to be found, but there's other issues at hand.
And they want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members. Meanwhile, they're setting up.
I ain't had damn family members.
I don't know nobody been deported. Unless ain't nobody told me. But, and I said that like that on purpose.
I'm black. Ain't nobody I know has
been
gotten deported.
Concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls.
So, it's not about the children not being found, but before y'all go out there and put y'all rain boots on, remember that these white people basically don't care about you.
So you shouldn't care about them and them needing help. That's basically what she's saying.
Basically, that's the gist of it. And there's more.
You know, I'm calm because I prayed for this woman. I was so mad when I first saw it. I was so angry at this woman. I don't even know her. But when I first saw that everything was happening, like their children being washed away, like what? And then I was like, okay, then they said they were finding them. It didn't click right away that they were finding them not alive. And then that's when it started like, oh my goodness, right? And so then we have 2 daughters. So what if they were at camp, right? There's no telling. So then that should be a sympathy thing, because yes, I have 2 daughters. I don't give a daggone what color you are.
It don't matter.
Parents have lost their children and they're not coming
Children
back.
have lost their parents.
Right. And they're not coming back because of nature.
Not because of Donald
Not
Trump.
because of a man, but
Not
because of
their
nature.
MAGA.
Because of rain and how rain works in Texas. And when we get a lot of rain, it
Stuff start washing away.
You know? So seeing people not being logical and blaming, Donald Trump, blaming, what is it, cloud feeding? I don't know. It was a lot of things that were being blamed. And it was just like, it was like, it is a natural disaster. And it just so happened like that these girls were at camp at the time that it flooded.
He also said that at the camp, they're not allowed to have their phones. So another reason is they didn't get all the alerts. So that it's the administrators of the camp's fault as well.
So a lot of those administrators lost their lives too. But
Trying to save these children.
People don't want to look into that. But anyway,
she back though. And stand on it.
Oh, she doubled down.
I find it quite suspicious that right after a major tragedy with like 20 plus people died, that a random TikToker with 7,000 followers is who y'all want to interview. I find that really strange. I'm starting to feel like I'm becoming the scapegoat to cover up for that fuck up of a flood that they had out there that could have been totally prevented. But thanks to Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Dan Patrick, those are the reasons, those 2 people, for cutting all of our fundings. And then, of course, your friendly MAGA Trump up there in the White House. These are the reasons why that tragedy happened that was extremely preventable. I did nothing. I did not cause the flood. Nor did I cause the failure from the National Weather Service and the failure of FEMA. Those things were done by design, and they were done by the governor and the lieutenant governor and your fucking president. But yet, somehow, a day after this shit happens, I'm the one getting all the backlash. Huh. Funny how that works.
This is devil.
Why did she insert herself in some? Look, if you didn't have any, here's how this all could have went. You didn't have to post
Just
anything. Sometimes holding our tongues is the best thing. If she didn't have any, who is she? Like, seriously, who the heck are you? Y'all keep doing this and you don't know when to be quiet. No, like, how?
We're going to put a blame.
And another thing, I find it quite suspicious that right after a major tragedy with like 20 plus people died, that a random TikToker with 7,000.
So you insult people. You make retarded comments, and then you get online and say, I don't know why people coming at me. I don't know why the attention's on
Playing
me.
victim. Yeah. I said this, but now I don't know why people are coming at me. Because you made it a race thing. You're placing blame on, like, you can't take responsibility. Like, come on.
But the foolishness that you done said.
It's a tragedy. Children. And she probably, you know what? I can't say that because there might be some mothers who don't feel that type of sympathy either. But I don't think, is she a mother? I don't know. Like, it's just, this
is this woman is nasty.
Followers is who y'all want to interview. I find that really strange. I'm starting to feel.
I don't think it's so much that people want to interview you. People want to get in the same room with you. I definitely think that people would like to get in the same room with you so they can tell you how they feel. Because clearly, after you did this, you put your profile on private and you turn your comments off.
Oh, yes. Really?
That's how real we are out here in these streets.
Because we can't,
we don't want to face that. You want to continue to say this stuff, and you don't want no backlash, no nothing. You just want to say things.
You want to say things and don't want the repercussions that come with it because you knew you were out of pocket, right? Mm-hmm. And when we know when we're out of pocket when we say things like "uh-oh." But I think the difference between I'm gonna say this: the difference between her and me, character, morals. I know better, right? And you know what? I think she knows better too. But because of the way that people can get away with things this day and age, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, and that's I
don't think she don't know better.
Yeah, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
The more she speaks, the more we'll see.
She keep getting stuck in the mud.
It ain't even. She has no. Okay, I'm done. Y'all got it. She has none of that. And y'all might call it backing down or whatever, but sometimes, like I say, you need to learn how to shut up.
Yeah, you need to just hold your tongue.
This is ridiculous.
I feel like I'm becoming the scapegoat to cover up for that fuck up of a flood that they had out there that could have been totally prevented, but thanks.
Prevented how?
And then a lot of some of the counselors they were saying that, like, okay, for example, because firsthand, we get the alerts when they say it's going to flood.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it doesn't. So I get the gist.
It's just like when people thought Katrina was a joke.
Right.
When they thought Harvey was a joke.
Right.
It's the same thing. We get these alerts all the time, but that don't necessarily mean people are going to act. You get people caught get caught in hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes.
So if it's like, what was it, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you have to transport those girls out of there, you have to, because there's a lot of campers, right? And so you have to try and get the buses and stuff and get them ready, and then you just hey, okay, we'll be okay, because it's not going to rise up 25 feet, right? Who's thinking that this is going to happen?
25 feet.
Because the camp had been open since the 1920s. So I don't think in people's minds, they're thinking, yeah, this is going to happen because all this rain is coming. Didn't y'all see the news, and didn't y'all watch the weather?
Camp.
Like, man.
Ain't y'all never been to camp? But they ain't got no TVs and no camera phones, and they ain't got all that.
Like, man,
it's a camp. You're supposed to be doing outdoor activities.
and then at the time of morning that it was
sleep.
Right. Yeah.
As we proceed
to Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Dan Patrick. Those are the reasons, those two people, for cutting all of our fundings. And then, of course, your friendly MAGA Trump up there in the White House. These are the reasons why that tragedy happened.
How did they tell the rain did they summon the rain to come to Texas and wash up this camp, along with every other thing, all the other things that they washed up?
According to a lot of people, because a lot of people have been
Donald Trump
saying
did this.
That it was Donald Trump. If he would have, this wouldn't have happened.
If he would have what?
I don't know. I'm just saying what these people repeating.
I don't understand.
And I'm not going to continue to repeat something that I don't know. Like, if I haven't, like, here's the thing. If you haven't read the bill, if you haven't read any of the actions, shut up. That's why sometimes I'm just like, I'm not touching that because I don't know. And I'll be doggone.
I sure wish more people would act like this. Would have this mentality. If you don't know,
just don't say anything.
Shut up.
And people won't know that you don't know. It's
better to be a fool and people not know than how that saying go? Then you open your mouth and remove all doubt. Yeah, sometimes we need to shut up.
It's okay.
You don't have to say everything that's on your mind.
Whoa.
Goodness gracious.
We're going to get a warning on our phones about our weather right now.
was
But,
extremely preventable. Me, I did nothing. I did not cause.
I did nothing. There's no accountability. I didn't insult people. I didn't say that it don't matter if they get found or not.
I mean, why does them white only girls Christian camp? Like, what did that matter?
Why?
All you had to say was Camp Mystic.
Straight up. Real
The
simple.
flood. Nor did I cause the failure from the National Weather Service and the failure of FEMA. Those things were done by design, and they were done by the governor and the lieutenant governor and your fucking president. But yet, somehow,
I don't know. I'm tired of Scott stopping it. But with FEMA, you have to, like, it was the next day. Like, the governor has to do the request assistance from FEMA. FEMA just doesn't pop up and say, oh my goodness, a natural disaster.
I know it happened.
That's not how that works. The governor wasn't even in town. So it was Lieutenant Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick who was in charge, because Governor Abbott wasn't even in Texas. So, and how FEMA works, the governor has to request that help.
Man, these people don't know what they be talking about. And she works for
But
the
I'm saying they
doggone mayor.
work for like you work
For these
in
people.
these things. I'm just a little old civilian.
now, a day after this shit happens, I'm the one getting all the backlash. Huh. Funny how that works.
So, you want to throw up in your mouth, don't it?
I'm gonna have to pray for her some more.
She said how she wants the little girls to be found. It ain't about that. But the issues at hand is it wouldn't be this big if it was trans, black, color, brown people. So let's listen to what she has to say on that.
World and stop everything we're doing. We're supposed to stop the world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls.
Yeah, I heard that correctly, right? Hold on, maybe I'm tripping.
We're supposed to stop the world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls.
Yes.
First of all, ain't nobody asked you to do nothing. People tend to volunteer
if you want
because
to.
they understand the severity of the situation.
You didn't have to make a video. You didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to come up with a follow-up video. Nobody had to know how you felt about the situation except maybe your close loved ones. No, the world didn't have to know. And now that's why you are being that's why there's a target on. Yeah, that's why.
When you say things online on public display, people tend to criticize it. We get criticism all the time. I can't be crying about it. I'm saying what I'm saying. And then you stand on it several times. So why are you crying about the backlash that you're getting from what you knew? And you
She said it in the first video.
Of the video,
I'm probably gonna get hate
or I'm gonna get backlash. Or matter of fact, you got fired. Because you directly talking to the people who are involved with this. And matter of fact, your dude is even what is he?
A pastor,
some kind of pastor, and he publicly went on display and said he ain't cutting for what you saying. Matter of fact, I think we got that too. Let me see. So do. Can you see that, baby?
You want me to read it?
I do.
Oh, I'm about to butcher this. All right. My partner, Sade Perkins, has made comments on social media regarding the horrific flooding that devastated Camp Mystique. I want to be clear that I disavow her comment.
All of them.
While she was not speaking on my behalf or on behalf of my congregation, I recognize that her comments have caused harm to many who are experiencing terrible loss and anxiety. I believe strongly that all people have inherent worthiness and dignity. Her comments were not in the spirit of the Unitarian Universalist values centered around love that my congregation and I share. I am deeply sorry for the harm that this may have caused to the Camp Mystique families and the members of the community of Central Texas and along the Guadalupe River who are grieving or anxiously awaiting word about their loved ones. I apologize to my congregation who has experienced harm because of her comments. I will continue to pray for all who have been impacted by the flooding and for the many lives lost during this tragedy. I will continue to work to repair the harm this incident has caused. Reverend Dr. Colin Bosson, Senior Minister, First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston.
I'm sure glad somebody in that household got some sense. Cause what she got going on is craziness. But she ain't the only one that feels this way. There's people who agree with her. And it just so happened that a lot of these people look just like her.
Let me be clear though. It's just not people that look like her.
I know
there are other when the first day or the second day, and I saw them comments and people. I was like,
these people is nasty.
Wow.
I'm talking nasty.
Wow.
Hold up.
He spoke a truth about Mystic Summer Camp flood.
Uh-oh.
Unwelcoming is this. Sade Perkins spoke a truth about Mystic Summer Camp flood. Now here's the thing about the truth. Sometimes the truth is unwelcoming, it's distasteful, and it's downright ugly and unwarranted, and it could be misconstrued. Now what y'all gotta understand is that if it was young girls that look like me, they wouldn't get as much news coverage. It wouldn't be so much publicity behind it. But let me just say this. I don't think when Sade wanted to cause awareness and wanted to out hatred, that she was actually gonna out herself and let us know and make us aware that she has a little hatred in her heart herself, because she's lacking sympathy, empathy, and also humanity. Because once again, these are children. Children. I don't see a color when it comes to children. I see children who need to be brought home. I see some children who won't make it home. I see some children who will forever have to live with this tragedy in their head. That's what I see. And Sade, here's my thing, and I'm going to tell you the truth to you, sister girl. You have every right to vocalize the way you feel, but you're not no different than the people who really are hatred, people who really have hatred in their heart. You're not no different because you just showed us who you are. And I agree with some of the things you said, but I'm going to put on my rain boots and go and help these little girls. I don't give a care how you feel, because if this was my little girl, I want you, whoever, to come out and help me save my baby, okay? Or put my baby to rest. I'm just being truthful.
So you agree, but you disagree.
Okay, she confused me. I don't care. Like I'm so over it now, because hold on.
I agree, but I disagree.
But when it comes to children, I don't see color. But if they grown folk, I see what color they are, because children are innocent.
What type of foolishness are we dealing with these days?
Because children are innocent.
But if it's adults, it's all good.
No, if it's babies, if it's little girls, and I'm gonna put my rain boots on because I don't care the color of. Shut your mouths. Shut your mouths.
Please.
Because this, she's like, and then I guess I get what she's saying, because she is saying freedom of speech, and that is our.
But there also is freedom of doggone consequences.
I know, like we believe, and I'm saying we believe that we can say and do whatever we want without repercussions. But what's that? FAFO?
Straight up.
Fool around, because y'all know, and find out. Stop playing these games.
Yeah. If you're gonna say something, be prepared for what comes after what you're saying, because there's consequences to what's being said. And if you ain't ready for that, you need to stay offline because people have strong opinions just like you do.
Right.
And if you out here saying a bunch of foolishness, people gonna call you out on it,
Right.
whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, stay offline. Because, and sometimes we need to realize when it's time to sit down and not say anything else. Because we digging these holes and we piling up these piles of doo-doo and we just laying in it. And it stank. It don't smell good. We tripping out here. What you got?
I was trying to find it because I've been in Romans, right? So I've been studying Romans because a lot of people have been talking about Romans and all these things. And I've gone through Romans 1, and it's just what's coming to me is just how people in disobedience and not following, and then you're saying, like the woman that we just watched, she's saying like, I agree with you. I don't agree. I don't agree with any sentiment of what Sade said at all, because it's not coming from a place. What do people say? You tell your truth. There's only one truth.
Are they there's
only one truth. And the Lord tells us, like, when we speak like that of course people want to hear that type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you do things which are not proper, and that's Romans 1:28. And just as they did not see fit to acknowledge God any longer, God gave them over to a depraved mind and to do those things which are not proper, being filled with all unrighteousness, wickedness, greed, evil, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, malice. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, arrogant, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, without understanding, untrustworthy, unloving, unmerciful. And although they know the ordinance of God, that those who practice such things are worthy of death, they not only do the same, but also give hearty approval to those who practice them. So that's what that lady just did to agree with Sade. We all will fit into that because we're all sinners, right? But if you follow God and you know that, like, how merciful and gracious he is, we are supposed to, like, display that. We are supposed to have that in us. And these two women, she said, I don't agree, but that's her truth. But no, there's no but. Wrong is wrong, and Sade Perkins is wrong. She was wrong for what she said. She was wrong for making it a race issue. She is wrong to try and discredit people from finding these little girls. If you didn't want to help, nobody had to know, point blank, period. But this is disgusting to me, and
What? There's
more. It keeps going. Like, I agree with it. Tell your truth. There's no our truth. It's God's truth, and his truth is right, and God is just.
Yeah. We're going to go back and listen to what she said originally. One more time. We're going to get our Blanche on.
Probably gonna get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites only camp.
So, first thing she says is, I know I'm going to get canceled for this.
She does.
But, yeah, we know.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites only girls Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all white only conservative Christian.
It's all white and white only, two different things.
They don't have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. Like, what does that mean?
I don't even understand what you're talking about. They don't have a token what? What is a token something?
Anyway,
you went on here and you done found pictures of them taking pictures of, this is the camp that they at.
Camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going. Period.
No, if you ain't got no money, you ain't going. Period.
And if it's a Christian camp as well, if
It's-
you're not
it's for
following
certain
Christian, if you're not following Christian values and stuff, and I'm sure they're welcoming anybody too, because there's probably
I'm
some,
sure they welcoming
yeah,
families,
that's it. Yeah,
Christian
I'm
families.
sure it's no discrimination or anything. It's just, and then I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know about Camp Mystic. I didn't even think about
Nobody did.
I don't even think about sending my children to camp. Like,
And I think that context needs to be said
Why?
in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe
Oh,
World and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls.
in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would
yes, it
give
would.
and all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada yada yada. So before
What does people being deported got to do with anything?
that's the narrative that people have to say right now with what's happening.
And she even said in one of these videos how black people are going to get put in concentration camps. Where are y'all getting this stuff from?
It's propaganda, and that's a part of her. So while she's slandering the girls and from Camp Mystic, she's also giving propaganda into what everybody else is doing. Well, there's concentration camps.
She got to throw everything in there.
Birthright citizenship, right? Well, right now they're deporting people, but they're not deporting Americans. They're deporting illegal immigrants, right? So they're not, of course, they're not being clear with that. So let's throw it all in because it's an agenda.
We victims. And we got to show how much of a victim we really are by just putting all our victimhood in a pot, you know what I'm saying, and put it out there. So y'all know that the world is racist, is systematic racism, but at the same time, I can be racist.
I can be racist. I can say whatever the heck I want to say, and I'm gonna be racist. And then this is sick. She is sick. They're mental.
We're gonna let her keep going.
Before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East damn Texas and to make a all-white enclave.
So they just came from somewhere. They brought the whole camp to East Texas and set up shop. This happened a couple of hours before the flood happened. So they had just set up shop in Kerrville where all the Hispanics, it's mostly Hispanics, where it should have been Hispanics at this camp. That's what happened. Y'all see how stupid that sounds?
And then all the white people, they gathered because they knew that they got to go into the woods and be together, put all their daughters together because they white. Like black people don't congregate together.
Hold on. And then they called Trump and told him, make it rain.
And make sure it floods. Make sure it takes our babies.
Make it rain on them.
But like I was saying, like black people don't congregate together, and like sometimes you go to an event, there's no white people, and like what are we talking about? I'm sure there are different programs and stuff and I don't even think that people are consciously thinking, oh, look, there's no black people. Oh, look, there's no brown people. They're just going to camp.
They're going to camp, having a good time.
And if people are, well...
What y'all say about proximity? These people ain't around black people like that. Just like a lot of black people ain't around white people like that.
Boom, there you
Asians
go.
don't be around other people like that.
It's not.
Mexicans try to stay around Mexicans.
You kind of stay around what you're familiar with, and that's not bad.
Exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in
Exclusionary.
East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas. Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all whites only enclave in East Texas.
All white, whites only. Yeah, two different things.
For your white children. Yeah, I have.
What's she trying to say? It white as many times as she could in one sentence.
It's projecting racism.
The whiteness.
I don't even like that word racism, but
It's your whiteness that did it to him. Ah.
A problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once
world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls. We're supposed to stop the world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls.
What Dr. Umar say? You gotta do it 3 times.
oh my
We're supposed
gosh.
to stop the world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls.
y'all have to understand, enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again,
Oh my goodness.
World and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls.
Jay, I just wanted to make a point. This woman is delusional. She has lost her mind. And I found out the reason why she acts the way she does. And she clearly is not a believer in God. And I was looking for her to say this, and say she does not know when to shut up. She does not know when to shut up, because she definitely says it.
Maybe it's God's will. I'm not saying that because I don't even believe in God. But if maybe it's God's will. I'm not saying that because I don't even believe in God. But if you use their logic, if it would have happened to trans kids, that's exactly what they would be saying. And anytime a natural disaster happens to a state that they don't like California.
I've never seen a national disaster happen to trans kids. Does she think national disasters are just out here targeting people specifically? What is her brain? What's going on in this woman's brain? I see she got her braids on. They might be a little too tight. But that's not even an excuse, because every doggone hairstyle she has, she's just as dumb. She think these doggone storms is out here targeting people.
They're tracking people. Oh yeah, that's that person. Like, what are
we gonna go get that trans person?
With the wildfires, these MAGA Christians were saying, well, that's God's will and don't send them any relief and all this and this and that.
Hey,
I don't recall that, but you know,
who's saying this stuff?
I don't recall California not needing the relief when the fires were happening or people not helping. I do recall when they were out there in the streets protesting and stuff. Like, what in the world? Yeah.
Absolutely. First, hold on. We're going to shout out to DeAndre. We appreciate you once again. You know what I'm saying? We know you. You know us. No, we appreciate it. We appreciate it, man. What we got? Eric Poteet. My young brother and sister in Christ, I am so sorry for all of this. This problem is the absence of Christ in their world. And I absolutely,
Yep, what I had read in Romans 1.
That is the
28.
biggest
Yep.
problem we have in today in this world. People don't believe in anything, but believe in everything at the same time. That's crazy. But
Oh,
I spent my youth in Tyler, Texas, 1976 to 1984, but that's before my time.
way before mine.
You a year before my time.
Oh man.
Several classmates attended Mystic,
Waldemar,
and Longhorn throughout their childhood. Man, I guarantee that was a good time. Because I'm telling you, that one that I went to, and shout out to Ben, he passed away not too long ago, but he exposed me to a lot of life. Just being out in the woods, experiencing different things, and he took me, and it was 4 or 5 of us. We went to a camp, and I'm telling you, that thing was amazing. It was in Stone Mountain, so you was out there in the mountains. It was cold, so it was snow, and it was beautiful. But yeah,
like from all of this, I think we might need to send the girls next year.
Straight up.
Seriously.
Yes, indeed. We are so glad you are here.
Seriously.
Blessings to you and your family. Yes, indeed.
My little miss won't be like, ain't no black children at the
Ain't no-
camp.
yeah,
Well,
it's
now
a
that
white
I
only.
know, because I my mind wasn't going to camps, but now that I know,
Yeah,
you
straight
know, where they are. Yeah.
But I want to show. So she started a GoFundMe,
Yes.
and people were thinking that she was getting support.
Yeah, I did because I was a high. I
Like,
told you.
people actually supporting this
I was like-
girl.
I was
What's wrong with people?
I was like, Brandon, she started.
She had a GoFundMe. But turns out people crazy. They actually donated to her so they can send her a message of how they really felt about her. And just a few of them will, let me see. Oh, look now. I'll scroll down.
Wait, hold on.
She had a bunch of doggone.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I didn't read that.
Yeah.
Whoa, before we get to, it was just this part where she said about free speech and her equity and.
So this is a video off of TikTok, so I don't have control over the scrolling.
Simply for exercising the same freedom of speech this country claims to protect. This campaign exists to say enough. Her words were not cruel, they were courageous. Black women should not be silenced or sacrificed to protect broken systems. Okay. Real accountability means protecting truth tellers, not punishing them. All funds will go toward Sade's protection, legal support, and recovery from the reputational and emotional harm she's enduring. Like, a lot of children didn't just lose their lives.
If you believe in free speech, equity, protecting Black women from systemic retaliation, then stand with Sade Perkins. Let her know she is not alone and that we will not let her voice be erased. Say, I don't say this lightly, but it seems as though some Black women are the closest thing to Satan. And it's crazy because even when you bring to their attention that you're acting like Satan, they still don't change it up. They still act the same way. It's like hate on top of hate, top of more hate. And you can see it in their face when they speak. The hate is just spewing out of them. And I don't understand I don't know.
Because what we said, the basis is
God.
Christ. Christ is not in it. They don't believe. And so what do they believe in? They believe in, oh, well, I can say whatever I want. That's not what free speech is.
That's not what that is.
Equity, I don't.
Who cares what that is?
And then protecting Black women. What do I need protection from? Like, and I'm not.
Stop causing problems and you won't need
Like,
protection.
if you stop saying certain things, then you won't have to be for systemic retaliation. I don't know what that is, but
And I don't understand, who are you talking to when you say protect Black women? Who are you talking to? Because you done alienated men, Black men. You done alienated the white people. You done alienated conservatives. You done alienated doggone Christians. You done alienated everybody. Who are you talking to? Who's protecting you? Who wants to protect you? Oh, some of the donors, what we were doing originally, and what they have to say.
all right, I just saw that. I was like, what does that say?
So, $5. May the universe bless you with the same nasty energy you put into it, undiluted. Undiluted. Hold on.
They gave her $5 for it.
Yeah. Hold up. What that one say?
This one says $5 to tell you that you're a trash human. Worth it. You are a foul and disgusting piece of trash. Ouch. You're subhuman, a hateful racist. Wow. You deserve everything you're getting for. Hold on, you. Yeah.
Oh, my fault. My fault.
Where was I? You deserve everything you're getting for what you said about those innocent babies, but now a victim. You are laughable. I hope you get ALS. It's what you deserve. So die alone. And whoever wrote this out for this dumpster, Sade, is just in the head. Golly, I can't even repeat all of that.
Take one live, boy.
They gave her $5.
Straight up. These people that give you money, I think, oh, it's more.
That they went alfalfa. You're the scum between my toes.
God, dog.
You're the scum.
Anyway, y'all get the jet. No, it keeps stopping on the road.
She raised $20, but it's $20 from people who like don't agree with her because you came out and you made very insensitive comments.
This man say, I won't hide my name because I'm going to get in good trouble today. I'm a white Howard University graduate, the same school as Kamala Harris. I dated Black people, lived in Black neighborhoods, had Black supervisors, and attended Black schools. I had come to realize most Black people, but not all, are the new triple K. And as I like to put a spin on things, Black Klansmen matter.
What to say about that?
That was
wow.
deep. That was deep. He didn't hold back on that one. Yep. As we can see, hold on, what we got here? I'll piss away $5 to tell you that you're an absolute scum of the earth, and myself and the rest of the sleeves that are
the sleuths.
What is a sleuth?
Like you're figuring out what's happening, like a detective.
Oh, okay. My fault. Hey, I don't know all words, man. I ain't all that smart. I just know what I know. But anyway, that are beyond fatigue, that are going to make it out of life's mission to make sure you regret this stupid, bigoted, hateful video every day of the rest of your pathetic life. Buckle up, Buttercup. We're just getting started. They on her behind. I think there's one more. Buttercup. Sade, you are an awful human who has been empowered by the last four of political hatred and racism. What's she talking about? The last political racism to believe you're moral superior based on your vote, and now it's time for a reckoning. The evil that is within you to say that you did what?
Say what you did about those poor babies. Literal babies is only something the devil would stand by. You are disgusting and should be embarrassed. Here's $5 a shame.
Yeah, so y'all see
that she also tried to like grift off of this, whomever set it up to try and raise money for, like, isn't it crazy that children have passed away and they're going to need money, right? Funerals, arrangements, all these things. The camp is going to need money. But somebody set up, or she set up, and then made it seem like somebody set it up for her, a give, send, go for her to collect money.
Mm-hmm.
And
because she's being doxxed or whatever. Say, you said what you said. What you expect? I don't know what else to say. Maybe it ain't nothing else to say.
I don't think there's anything else to say. I think the basis of Sade Perkins is that she is a terrible person.
Disgusting.
I think, well, of course, we all are not good. We know if we believe in Christ, then we know that we are sinners. But because she said that she does not believe in God, she doesn't know that she's really like terrible, that she's really bad. She thinks that what she's spewing is goodness or truth. It's not truth. It's trash.
Say, we call it dumpster juice.
That's what you say.
Y'all know that y'all know when the dumpster truck, when it first initially pull off that little juice that come out the back of it, that's Sade Perkins. Dumpster juice.
And like people like this do need to be exposed, but the good, there will be, we need to look at, what will come out of Camp Mystique, and not this silly lady who can pick up a camera and say something. But to pray for the families that have lost loved ones, to pray for the volunteers who are going out, to pray for HPB,
and risking their lives to save lives.
Going to find these missing people. Yes, we have to find the missing people.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be around and oh man, a missing body. So pray for all the volunteers. Pray for everybody who is putting their boots on and going to help. Like everybody who is involved, pray for them. And even if you can't make it out, just pray. Prayer helps.
You just crazy thought when she said boots on the ground. Y'all know how y'all like that boots on the ground. We need to get out here and boots on the ground for these children and these people who have lost their lives during this tragedy that we're blaming God knows what for.
Well, I know yesterday they had said no more volunteers need to come because they're trying to find bodies. They have the help, so don't come because we don't need that. But sometimes
you gotta sit down.
You do sometimes.
We need trained professionals.
Need to just be quiet. But I pray that whoever is watching us, that y'all pray for the people who have lost, and just pray for the whole situation. And then also pray for America, for healing, because
pray for our leadership,
everything, because we see that God is needed. And so just really pray for people.
Absolutely. And Tessa Mack, we appreciate you. Yes, that is so true, but that's why we're here. And a lot of people are scared to say something about our people, because no matter what you look like, if you say anything against black people, you are racist, you a bigot, you a Uncle Tom, you all of these things. But I'm here for all that smoke. I'm willing to take that smoke that tells the truth, the only truth, which is God's truth. Yeah. So if you don't like that, then hey, that's on you. I ain't got nothing to do with that. It's my duty to tell you about it. After that, that's on you. You find your way to God so you can figure out how to achieve your salvation. But we doing what we're supposed to do. And whoever don't like it, oh well, we're gonna keep it moving. And we appreciate everyone who showed up for us today. Everyone who continues to show up for us. You already know. God business. We standing on God business.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus Christ God business. Because a lot of people out here be talking about God, and I don't know what God they talking about. I know Jesus Christ God. If that ain't who you talking about, over there. We talking about Jesus Christ God. And we standing on that all day, every day. So with that being said, like I say, we appreciate everyone who was here, everyone who showed up, everyone who comments. We appreciate all that. Because without y'all, we wouldn't be doing what we doing. You hear me? So with that being said, you got anything, baby?
I don't. Thank y'all for tuning in.
We
That's all.
appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We live. Check us out next Thursday. We're gonna drop what the topic's gonna be throughout the week. Make sure y'all catch that. We drop videos all the time, regularly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But we have content that's dropping all the time. So y'all make sure y'all stick around, check us out. It's all truth, all God, all family, all marriage. And we all about, you know what I'm saying, helping humanity progress. So if you all about that, make sure you come kick it with us whenever we show up. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. So like always, it's love, peace, and soul.
Bye.
Like Soul Train, baby.